The morning sun cast long shadows across Millbrook High as Marcus Chen walked through the front doors, his backpack slung over one shoulder. At 17, he carried himself with quiet confidence, but his dark eyes remained alert. He had learned to read the hallways like a battlefield. "There goes the scholarship boy," sneered Jake Morrison, leaning against a row of lockers with his usual crew. Jake's father owned half the businesses in town, and Jake acted like he owned the other half. "Think you're better than us, don't you?" Marcus kept walking, his father's voice echoing in his mind. "Choose your battles wisely, son. Not every fight is worth having." David Chen had raised Marcus alone since his mother passed, working long hours in what he simply called private security. But Jake wasn't finished. "Hey, I'm talking to you." His voice carried across the hallway, drawing stares from other students. "You and your dad don't belong here. This is our town." Marcus paused, turning slowly. "I was born here, Jake. Same as you." "Doesn't matter," Jake spat, his friends closing ranks behind him. "Some people just don't fit." The tension followed Marcus through his classes, but he focused on his studies. Honor roll students didn't have time for ignorance. After school, he met his best friend Sam Rodriguez at their usual spot by the old oak tree. "They're getting worse," Sam said, adjusting his glasses nervously. "My mom heard them talking at the diner. They're planning something big." Marcus felt a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air. "What kind of something?" Before Sam could answer, engines roared to life in the parking lot. 3 pickup trucks circled around, blocking their path to the street. Jake jumped out of the lead vehicle, flanked by 6 other young men. But these weren't just school bullies anymore. Marcus noticed the coordinated movement, the matching patches on their jackets, the cold calculation in their eyes. "End of the line, Chen," Jake called out, pulling something from his jacket. The afternoon sun glinted off metal. "Time for you and your kind to learn your place." Marcus stepped in front of Sam, his pulse steady despite the danger. His father had taught him to stay calm under pressure, though David had never explained exactly how he knew so much about handling threats. "Let Sam go," Marcus said quietly. "This is between you and me." Jake laughed, but the song held no humor. "You still don't get it, do you? This isn't just about you anymore. This is about sending a message." The group began closing in, their intent clear. Marcus calculated distances, escape routes, anything that might give Sam a chance to run. But they were outnumbered and surrounded. Then a voice cut through the tension like a blade. "That's far enough." David Chen emerged from behind the trees, his movement fluid and silent as a shadow. At 42, he looked ordinary enough in his simple work clothes, but something had changed. His posture, his expression, even the way he held his hands suggested cold power. "Dad!" Marcus breathed. "Stay behind me, son." David's voice carried absolute authority. "Both of you." Jake tried to maintain his swagger. "This doesn't concern you, old man. Walk away." David smiled, but it wasn't a friendly expression. "You just threatened my boy. Trust me, it concerns me plenty." "There's only one of you," Jake snarled, raising the weapon higher. "That's all I need." What happened next took less than 30 seconds, but Marcus would remember every detail for the rest of his life. His father moved like lightning, disarming Jake before the young man could react. The others rushed forward, but David flowed between them like water, each movement precise and devastating. Within moments, all 7 attackers were on the ground, groaning and decidedly less threatening. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. "You called the police?" Marcus asked. "I've been tracking this group for weeks," David replied, zip-tying Jake's hands behind his back with practiced efficiency. "Local FBI asked me to consult on their activities. Turns out, they're part of a larger network the Bureau's been watching." Police cars surrounded the scene, followed by unmarked federal vehicles. Agent Sarah Martinez stepped out, nodding respectfully at David. "Commander Chen," she said formally. "Thank you for your assistance." Marcus stared at his father. "Commander." David placed a gentle hand on his son's shoulder. "Navy SEAL, retired. 23 years of service. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you everything, Marcus. Some secrets are meant to protect the people we love." As the hate group members were loaded into patrol cars, Jake looked back with confusion and fear replacing his earlier arrogance. The untouchable son of a powerful family had just learned that real power came from honor, not hatred. Principal Watson arrived as the scene was being cleared. "Marcus, I owe you an apology. The school should have acted sooner." "What matters is what happens next," Marcus replied, watching his father coordinate with the federal agents like the professional warrior he'd always been. Later that evening, as father and son sat on their front porch, David spoke quietly. "I never wanted this life to touch you. But I'm proud of how you handled yourself today." "Why didn't you tell me?" Marcus asked. "Because I wanted you to find your own strength first. And you have, son. You stood up for what's right, even when it was dangerous. That's the only uniform that really matters." The next morning, Millbrook woke to news that a domestic terror cell had been dismantled, their plans for larger attacks thwarted by careful investigation and community vigilance. The Chen family name, once whispered with suspicion by some, was now spoken with respect. Marcus walked into school to find something he'd never seen before: acceptance. Not from everyone, but from enough people to make a difference. Change was coming to Millbrook, one conversation at a time. As he sat in first period, Marcus smiled. His father had taught him that justice wasn't always swift, but it was always worth fighting for.